I felt like this was the best week to do this. Lane Kiffin is being talked about for a lot of these high-profile jobs. The Florida job, most recently the LSU job. He was asked about Brian Kelly's firing, and I thought his take on it was really interesting. Go ahead and check this out.
I think it's a product of things that happen. I think that, Elko doing such a great job at A&M, I think puts in people's heads like, hey, these buyouts are ridiculous to pay, and, but I'm sure an A&M right now is sitting there going, okay, well, yeah, that was ridiculous to pay, but we feel pretty good about that right now. So anytime something works, other people go, well, let's go do that. And so I think that's happened. And once it now has places accepting, to pay these buyouts, which I think is ridiculous, but that it's happening, then it's easier for the next team and the next team, to do it.
Translation, nobody's safe anymore. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what your buyout is, doesn't matter what you've done previously. You are one bad year away from being fired. And the Brian Kelly buyout of $53 million, or right around there, is evidence of that. And so I think the interesting point he made there around Mike Elko is right on the money. Jimbo Fisher had a wild buyout too. That was kind of the discussion you had every year of like, hey, Jimbo Fisher doesn't seem like the right guy at A&M, but they have such a ridiculous buyout. They're kind of trapped by that. Lane Kiffin's like, nope, Mike Elko's killing it right now. And so A&M, as much as maybe they didn't like paying that buyout, bet you they'd pay that buyout twice over to be where they are right now in the context of having Mike Elko and have this A&M team absolutely humming. So when things work, people copy. People are seeing A&M and their success. They're like, okay, it took a buyout that sucked, but like if we want to get our Mike Elko in the building, we want to turn things around, yeah, we got to go pay that massive buyout. So he didn't say this, but I was reading between the lines a little bit here and catching this. Lane Kiffin's got a good thing going at Ole Miss, doesn't he? Lane Kiffin's as safe as you can be at Ole Miss right now, relative to them deciding to fire a one Lane Kiffin. I wonder a little bit if in the back of Lane Kiffin's mind, he's seeing Brian Kelly get fired with a $53 million buyout. He's seeing James Franklin be fired. He's hearing the discussion around Mike Norvell be fired a couple of years removed from winning the ACC championship. And I wonder if he's thinking, okay, if nobody's safe in college football, if all my neighbors are being evicted after one or two bad years, and I'm safe in my house, do I really want to move? Just food for thought there. But that was my takeaway when it came to the question he was asked and his answer he gave around Brian Kelly and his firing and the comparison he made to Mike Elko, which I think is a very fair one to make. He was also asked about the way that he spoke to his team after the Oklahoma game. There's rumblings about he told them to enjoy the moment more and kind of take it in. A couple of players after the Oklahoma win apparently came back out of the locker room and thanked their fans and dapped up some of the people that made the trip from Oxford. And he was asked about that, and I thought his answer was really fascinating, especially with everything that's being said about him and the potential of him taking another job, whether it be LSU or Florida.
I know you wanted them to appreciate it, and so do you feel like the players kind of got the message you wanted when you asked them to come back out?
I don't know. I didn't ask him. I just trying to teach him, things that I missed in life and moments and, just because I was always like, okay, man, we won, get to the locker room next game and all that. And so just trying to help him through to, stop and enjoy the moments. And because they're hard to come by. And I said it before, being at USC, we won 34 straight and 26 straight at Alabama with Coach Saban, that I just felt like sometimes, I didn't enjoy the moments because those are historic runs. And so when we get in these good seasons, which there's been a lot of here, just try to tell the guys hey, enjoy it, especially after the wins.
So I think there's two ways to take that. There's one thought where you say he's telling his guys to enjoy the moment, be where your feet are, enjoy this because you're going to pivot to something else here in the future. It'd be very easy to throw on the lens of that sounds like Lane Kiffin soaking in his final moments at Ole Miss. And I don't think you're wrong if you have that opinion. What I took from it, based on everything we know about Lane Kiffin and his career, where he's been pretty aggressive with getting to the next place, the next move, and all those things, he's like, no, I want to enjoy all of this. I want my players to enjoy all of this. I want us to be present. I want us to enjoy where our feet are right now, because this is something you work really hard for, to win football games, to win as many as we've won here at this point at Ole Miss, to be a top 10 team, to get a win on the road at Oklahoma. I wonder a little bit if that answer and that approach from Lane Kiffin is maybe a peek into his mind of maybe the grass isn't always greener at the next place. Leaving Tennessee for the USC job. I don't know if he'd do that again, quite frankly. All the moves he made throughout his career to get to that next spot, to be the hot shot coach, to be, in any given position of perceived success or power. I wonder if a little bit, having had so much success and so much movement early throughout his career, I wonder if that guidance he's given to his players of, when I was at USC, we won this many in a row. When I was at Alabama, we won this many in a row. Enjoy this and don't rush to the next thing. I wonder if maybe that's a thought that he's having right now when it comes to how he's perceiving the LSU opening and the Florida opening. I have to believe he's going to be offered both jobs. Like, if Lane Kiffin wants to be in Baton Rouge or Gainesville next year, I think he has every opportunity to go do that. But this answer, telling his guys to enjoy it and to be present in the moment, all those things, I think that maybe could make you believe a little bit that he's saying, this is special, I want to be here, I want to enjoy this, I want to be present, and I don't want to be happier than happy. So that's Lane Kiffin translated for you. We swung our sword as best we could to try and make sense of these different things the coaches are saying. Again, no coach is being dishonest actively, but I think some coaches, by nature of them being who they are, they can't be quite as brutally honest. So that's what we're trying to do here on this show, is be as brutally honest as we can for some of these coaches across the college football landscape. Today was Kirby Smart and Lane Kiffin. Let us know in the comment section, too, who you want to see translated next on this show.